I died screaming into the void of a New York subway tunnel, my body twisting like a ragdoll as the train's roar swallowed me whole. Betrayed by the man I'd sworn my life to and the best friend who'd whispered lies in my ear, I plummeted not just to my death, but to a lifetime of regrets, every promise broken, every secret I'd buried for their sake. But death wasn't the end. It was a goddamn reset button, slamming me back into my skin seconds before the train I missed by a heartbeat. With a stranger's cryptic warning echoing like a gunshot in my skull. Turn back now. Melanie, they're already closing the noose. The platform at Grand Central was a madhouse of rushing suits and steaming coffee cups. The kind of chaotic ballet that makes New York feel alive even when you're dying inside. It was October 15th, 2023, 6 months before my accident, and I was Melanie Harper, 32. Corporate lawyer with a corner office at a firm that chewed up dreams and spat out billable hours. My heels clicked against the grimy tile like accusations. My phone buzzing with a text from my husband. Jake. Running late? Dinner's on me tonight. Love you. Love you. The words tasted like ash even then, but I shoved it down, like always. Jake and I had been married 5 years. High school sweethearts turned power couple in the city that never sleeps. Or so I told myself. I glanced at my watch, 7:42 p.m. The 6 train to Brooklyn was due any second. That's when I saw him again, the stranger. In my first life, he'd been a blur. A homeless guy in a threadbare coat muttering nonsense as I brushed past. But this time, as the air thickened with that metallic tang of incoming rails, his voice cut through the din like a blade. Turn back now. Melanie, they're already closing the noose. My name. He knew my fucking name. I froze, heart slamming against my ribs. The platform tilting like the world had decided to play tricks. The train screeched in, doors hissing open, and commuters surged forward. In the old timeline, I'd shoved through, exhausted from a deposition that painted me as the villain in my own career, desperate for Jake's arms and a glass of Pinot. That desperation led me to the edge. To Sarah's call luring me to the abandoned track for a surprise, to Jake's hands, steady, loving, pushing me just hard enough to make it look like a slip. But not this time. I spun on my heel, the stranger's eyes, piercing blue, unblinking, locking onto mine across the yellow line. Who the hell was he? A ghost? A prophet? Didn't matter. The knowledge burned in me. I was back. Reborn. And the noose he'd warned about? It was woven from silk lies, tied by the 2 people I trusted most. Sarah, my college roommate, the sister I never had, who'd clawed her way into our lives with her fake smiles and sharper ambitions. And Jake, with his boyish charm hiding a predator's hunger for my trust fund, my connections, my everything. They'd plotted it meticulously, falsified emails making me look unstable, a forged affair to justify the push, insurance payout to fund their escape to some tropical bullshit paradise. I'd uncovered fragments in my dying breaths, gasping on the tracks as the light faded, their faces hovering above like angels of death. I bolted from the platform, the train doors sealing behind me with a finality that echoed my old end. Up the escalator, into the neon glow of Vanderbilt Hall, my breath ragged. My hands shook as I pulled out my phone, not to call Jake, but to delete the thread with Sarah. Girls' night? Her last message read. In the before, I'd said yes. Now? Fuck that. I hailed a cab instead, the city lights smearing into streaks of gold and shadow. Brooklyn Heights, I told the driver, my voice steady for the first time in months. Home. Our brownstone on Hicks Street, with its ivy-choked facade and the lies rotting inside. The cab ride gave me minutes to process the impossible.
How? Why?
Was this purgatory's joke? Or some quantum fuckery I couldn't litigate my way out of? The stranger's words looped. They're already closing the noose. It wasn't hyperbole. In 6 months, I'd be dead, painted as suicidal. My career in ruins from their whispers to the partners. My assets liquidated for debts they fabricated. But I remembered it all. The late nights Jake spent working, actually fucking Sarah in our guest room, the offshore account they'd skimmed into. My signature forged on the transfers, the accidental overdose of my anxiety meds they'd slipped into my wine that night. To ensure I didn't fight back. I'd fought anyway, clawing at Jake's face until he panicked and shoved. By the time the cab pulled up, rage simmered into something colder, calculation. I paid with cash, slipped inside quietly. Jake was in the kitchen, humming off-key to some indie playlist, chopping onions like a domestic god. Babe, that you?
His voice.
Warm as fresh bread.
God. It used to melt me.
Yeah, I called, kicking off my shoes. Missed the train. Rough day. He emerged, apron dusted with flour, pulling me into a hug that now felt like chains. Hey, it's okay. I've got pasta going. And he grinned, that dimple I'd once traced with my finger.
A surprise latte. Sarah.
The surprise was always Sarah. I hugged back, inhaling his cologne, sandalwood and deceit, my mind racing. Step 1, reconnaissance. I needed proof, not paranoia. In the old life, I'd ignored the signs, the matching tattoos they hid under sleeves, the burner phone in his gym bag, the way she'd lingered too long at our dinner parties, her hand brushing his thigh under the table. We ate on the balcony overlooking the East River, the skyline twinkling like a promise. Jake rambled about his latest startup pitch, some app for ethical investing. Ironic as hell. I nodded, laughed in the right places. But my eyes traced the faint scar on his knuckle, the one from our playful wrestle that turned real when I questioned his alibis. You seem distant, he said finally, fork pausing midair. Just tired, I lied, forcing a smile. Thinking about that deposition. Client's a snake.
Tell me about it.
World's full of M. He reached for my hand, thumb stroking my wedding band. Venomous touch. That night, as he snored beside me, I slipped from the bed. The house was silent, save for the hum of the fridge. I padded to his office, our office, technically, but his domain of spreadsheets and secrets. The laptop was password protected, but I remembered it. Sarah loves me, 23. Pathetic. I logged in, heart pounding, and dove into the folders. There, contingency.pdf. A shared drive with her email. I scanned it on my phone's camera, the words blurring, timelines for my decline, dosages for sedatives, even a draft of the suicide note they'd plant. Ball rose, but I swallowed it. Evidence.
Now.
The plan. Revenge wasn't a sprint, it was a marathon of thorns. First, I'd dismantle their narrative. Call HR anonymously about Jake's inappropriate conduct with a colleague, Sarah's real name on the tip line, backed by screenshots I'd forged from old chats.
No.
Better, use my firm's resources. As a partner track lawyer, I had access to investigators, forensic accountants. I'd bury them in audits, leak their affair to his investors, watch the startup crumble. But dawn brought doubt. Was this me? The Melanie who'd championed pro bono for battered women, who'd toasted to second chances at our wedding. This reborn shell itched for blood. As Jake stirred, murmuring my name in sleep, innocent. Even now, I wondered if the noose was mine to tighten, or if I'd just become the monster. The next week blurred into a tightrope walk.
By day,
I was the polished attorney, arguing motions in mahogany-paneled courtrooms, my voice a whip cracking against perjurers. By night, I was the ghost, sifting through digital graves. I hired a PI through a shell contact, ex-cop named Ruiz, discreet as a shadow. Dig into James Harper and Sarah Klein, I told him over burner phone.
Finance,
Communications, anything off book. Cost me $5,000 up front, but worth every penny when his first report landed. Photos of them in a midtown hotel, timestamps matching Jake's late meetings, and the account, $250K siphoned from our joint savings, routed to the Caymans. I confronted nothing yet. Patience was my new religion. Instead, I sowed seeds. At a firm mixer, I casually mentioned to a senior partner, Ellis, how Jake's app seemed too good to be true, reminds me of that Ponzi mess last year. Ellis, a shark with a grudge against tech bros,
perked up.
Send me the prospectus.
Mel.
I'll take a look. By Friday, whispers rippled through investor circles. Jake came home frazzled. Ty Askew. Heard some bullshit rumors today. You wouldn't know anything, right? Me? Never. I poured him scotch, watching him gulp it like absolution. Inside, the hook twisted deeper. Sarah texted, lunch soon? Miss you. In the before, I'd gush yes.
Now,
I replied, can't. Swamped. But hey, heard Jake's pitching big. Congrats on the assist?
bait.
She bit, calling immediately. What do you mean? Assist? Just overheard. You two are thick as thieves these days. My tone light, probing. A pause. Then her laugh, tinny.
Forced.
Jealous?
Come on. Mel.
It's networking.
Right.
Networking. I hung up. Screenshot saved. Ruiz's next drop, emails between them. Coded pillow talk laced with logistics. Phase 2 when she's weakest, after the merger stress. The merger. My firm's biggest deal, where I'd shine or shatter. They timed my fall for the victory party, when eyes were on me, making the slip seem like burnout. Controversy brewed when I leaked a redacted version of the account trail to an anonymous finance blog. Tech mogul's wife in the dark? The headline screamed. Jake's phone blew up. He paced the living room,
Cursing.
This is sabotage. Who the fuck? Calm down, I soothed, hand on his shoulder. It'll blow over. But it didn't. Investors pulled out. His pitch tanked. He turned to me then, eyes pleading. Mel, I need you. Your firm's connections. I smiled. The kind that doesn't reach your eyes. Of course.
Babe.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. The words haunted me as I prepped for the merger depot. Sleepless nights blurred into caffeine-fueled marathons. But the memories fueled me more, the cold concrete kissing my cheek. Jake's whisper, it's for the best.
Mel.
You were drowning anyway. Drowning in their love. Their lies. The stranger reappeared on a rainy Tuesday, outside my office on Lexington. Same coat. Same blue eyes. Leaning against a lamppost like he'd never left. You listened, he said.
No preamble.
Rain slicked his graying hair. Voice gravelly with a Brooklyn lilt. Who are you? I demanded. Umbrella forgotten. Water pooling at my feet. Call me Elias. Knew your dad before the cancer took him. He owed me a favor.
Dad?
The man who'd raised me alone after Mom's overdose. A cop who'd bent rules for the badge. Died when I was 20, leaving me his paranoia and a lockbox of regrets. Favor. I echoed. Pulse thundering. He said if you ever needed a guardian angel, I'd know. Looks like you do. Elias handed me a flash drive. Small as a bullet. Everything on there untraceable. Use it wise.
Kid.
Noose tightens fast. I pocketed it. Questions burning. But he melted into the crowd. Inside. Alone in the elevator. I plugged it in. Files upon files. Jake's juvie record. Expunged assault on an ex. Sarah's psych eval from college. Borderline personality with a history of manipulation. Even audio. Her voice. Confessing to a therapist. Melanie's in the way. Jake and I will make it work. The merger loomed. 2 weeks out. Time to pull the thread. The flash drive was dynamite. But lighting the fuse required precision, lawyer's precision. I spent the weekend in a coffee-fueled haze, cross-referencing Elias's gold mine with Ruiz's dirt. Patterns emerged like veins in marble. Jake's assaults weren't isolated. He'd charmed his way out of 3 complaints. Each victim reconciled, with hush money from family trusts. Sarah? She'd burned bridges from Yale to Wall Street. Always the victim. Always rebounding on someone else's dime. Mine? In our case. They'd met at a gala 2 years back, while I slaved over case files. Sparks. They called it. Inferno. More like. Monday brought the firm's strategy session for the merger, $2 billion acquisition of a green tech startup. My baby. I walked in radiating calm. But inside. Gears ground. Ellis pulled me aside post-meeting. Melanie. About that app your husband's pushing. Smells fishy. I've got a contact at the SEC sniffing around. Really? I feigned surprise. Pulse steady. Jake's devastated. The leaks are killing him. Ellis chuckled. Dry as martini. Leaks have sources.
Kid. Keep your powder dry.
Translation. Someone's talking.
Me.
That night. Jake shattered. He stormed in at 9 p.m., bottle of bourbon in hand, face a mask of fury. It's you. Isn't it? The blog. The rumors. You're fucking tanking me. I set down my wine glass, non-alcoholic. Clear head for the kill, tilted my head. Me? Jake. That's insane. I'm fighting for us every day. Bullshit. He slammed the bottle down. Amber sloshing. Sarah said you've been distant. Paranoid. Like that time with the meds.
Meds.
The trigger. In the old life, he'd gaslit me into upping my Xanax. Then discovered the empties to paint me unstable. Sarah said. I echoed. Voice silk over steel. What's she got to do with this? He faltered. Eyes darting. Nothing.
Just. She's worried.
We all are.
We.
The pronoun landed like a slap. I rose.
Slow.
circling him like a deposition witness. Let me guess. She suggested I see a shrink again? After the stress last quarter? Mel. Stop. His hand shot out, grabbing my wrist too tight. Echoes of the push. I twisted free. Years of self-defense classes kicking in. He blinked.
Surprised.
You're different. You have no idea. I grabbed my coat. I'm staying at the Four Seasons tonight. We need space. Space? This is our home. He blocked the door. Breath boozy. Talk to me.
Talk.
I laughed.
Bitter.
Like you talked to her in our bed? Or plotted my slip on the tracks? The words hung. A grenade pin pulled. His face drained of color. What the tracks? Mel. You're scaring me. Good. I shoved past. Door slamming behind. In the cab, tears came, not for him, but the girl I'd been, blind and begging for scraps. The Four Seasons suite was opulent anonymity, Egyptian cotton swallowing my sobs. By morning, resolve hardened. Phase 2, isolate. I called Sarah for coffee, neutral ground at a Soho cafe buzzing with influencers and overpriced lattes. She arrived in yoga pants and a cashmere sweater. Blonde waves perfect, green eyes wide with faux concern.
Mel. God.
You look wrecked. Jake called, said you two fought. Straight to the point. Ha! I sipped my black coffee. Strong as my spite. Cut the act.
Sarah.
I know. Her smile froze. Know what? You're being cryptic. The affair. The money. The plan. I slid a printout across. Elias's audio transcript. Her therapy confession bolded. Her eyes flicked down, then up. Calculating. Melanie. That's. Edited. Fake news. But her voice cracked. Knuckles white on her mug. Fake like your friendship? Like the tattoo on his ribs. S forever, right? I saw it when he showered last week.
Lie.
But it landed. She paled. You spied on him? I woke up. The words carried double weight. My secret rebirthed a shadow between us. Leave him. Leave us. Or I go public, your eval. His record. The works. You'll be toxic in this town. She leaned in, voice a hiss. You think you can threaten me? Jake loves me. Not you. You're the placeholder. The ladder, he climbed. Placeholder. Rage flared. But I reined it. Controversial choice. Mercy. Or manipulation. Then prove it. Walk away clean. Or I burn it all. She searched my face. Then laughed low.
Broken.
You're changed. Fine. I'll ghost him. But if you hurt him. The threat died unspoken. She stood, tossing cash for the bill, striding out like a storm cloud. Victory tasted sour. Jake blew up my phone. Where are you? We need to fix this. I ignored, diving into work. The merger depot was a bloodbath, opposing counsel grilling me on ethics clauses. But I dismantled them. Voice steady. Mind sharp. Partners buzzed. Promotion whispers started. Ellis cornered me after. Nailed it. Harper. And that tip on the app?
SCS beating.
Your husband's in deep.
Deep.
I nodded. Guilt flickering. Was I destroying him? Or saving myself? That night. Back home, his text pleading, I found the house trashed. Drawers yanked. Paper strewn. Jake, mid-rage, froze when I entered. You did this, he growled. Ruined everything. Everything. I stepped over shattered glass.
Causa grave.
Or just your side hustle with my best friend? He lunged, but I sidestepped, grabbing his collar. Touch me, and it's assault charges. I've got cams now. Bluff. Installed that morning via Ruiz. He deflated, sinking to the couch.
Mel.
It's not what you think. Sarah seduced me. I was weak. Weak. The word echoed my old self. Like when you pushed me, in 6 months, on that track. His eyes widened, true fear. Pushed? I don't. You will. The future slipped, my voice a whisper. Unless you confess.
Now.
To the cops. The firm.
Me. Confess.
The demand hung. Controversial as hell. Expose him. But drag myself through scandal? Our marriage. My reputation? But the noose was his. Not mine. He crumpled. Sobbing. I can't. The investors. The app, it's all I have. Then lose it. I turned, leaving him in the wreckage.
Outside.
Elias waited in the shadows. Cigarette glowing. Heavy is the crown. Kid. How do you know? I asked, rain starting again. Your dad taught me to spot fire in the eyes. What's next? Twist the knife. But doubt nod. Sarah's ghosting? Texts from Jake begging therapy. Was redemption possible? Or just delay? Ruiz called at dawn. Klein's bolting, booking a flight to Miami. Harper's wiring money. Pull the trigger?
Trigger.
My finger hovered over the SEC tip line. Controversial. Let her run. Implicate him alone? Or drag them both into the abyss. I hit send. Full dossier. Unredacted. By noon, headlines screamed, Tech Darlings fraud exposed. Affair. Embezzlement twist. Jake's arrest came at 3 p.m., cuffs in our kitchen. Flashes popping. He looked at me through the window.
Betrayed.
Melanie. I met his gaze. Reborn steel in my spine. It's for the best.
Jake.
You were drowning anyway. Sarah vanished. But not for long. A week later, merger sealed. I got the nod. Full partner. Celebration drinks at Delmonico's. Partners toasting my instincts. Ellis clapped my back. You play dirty. Harper. I like it.
Dirty.
The word stuck as I slipped out early. Phone buzzing, unknown number. Sarah's voice. Slurred. Desperate. You bitch.
He took the fall.
All of it. Good. But her next words chilled. You think it's over? Elias, your angel? He's no savior. Ask your dad about the favor. Elias. The twist uncoiled. I hung up.
Dayeling Ruiz.
Background on Elias Crow. Minutes later, retired NYPD. Internal affairs scandal. Framed your father for corruption to cover his own skim. Dad's favor. Suicide pact cover-up. Crow killed your mom. Pinned it on overdose. Owed you truth. Or revenge. The world tilted. Not just Jake and Sarah, layers. Like Dad's ghost in the machine. The noose? Mine all along. Generational. The revelation hit like a subway derailment, twisting everything I'd rebuilt. Elias, Dad's friend, my phantom guide, was the architect of our family's fracture. Mom's overdose? Staged. Ruiz's deep dive confirmed. Toxicology fudged. Crow's signature on the report.
Dad.
suspecting, confronted him, Elias flipped it, accusing corruption, forcing Dad's retirement into booze and silence. The cancer? Stress-induced. Per the obit notes. And the favor? Dad's dying whisper to Elias. Watch my girl. If it comes to it, set her free. Free from what? The web he'd spun to protect me, or the lies binding us. I confronted Elias at his bolt hole in Red Hook, a warehouse squat stinking of brine and regret. Rain hammered the tin roof as I kicked the door. .38 from Ruiz's contact heavy in my purse. You murdered her, I spat. Gun leveled, not at him, but the space between. Controversial. Armed confrontation. Vigilante justice in a city of laws I upheld. He didn't flinch. Perched on a milk crate. Flask in hand. Blue eyes. Faded now. Met mine without shame. Guilty as charged. Melanie. But it was mercy. Mercy? I chambered around. The click echoing. You suffocated her with pills, or watched her waste from the lupus the docs missed. He lit a smoke. Exhale curling like confession. Your ma found out about my skim from the precinct fund. Evidence in her drawer. I could have jailed her, but... A shrug. Weary. She begged. Clean death. For the insurance to raise you right. Your dad knew. Helped bury it. Dad helped. The room spun. He covered for you? After? Love makes monsters of us. Elias stood. Slow. Hands open. He made me swear. If you ever got tangled like her, betrayed, cornered, pull you out. Jake was the trigger. I saw the threads months back. At a diner stakeout. Stakeout. My skin crawled. You watched us. Watched you shine.
Kid.
Brighter than them. The train? I timed the warning. Knew you'd miss it. Loop back. He nodded at the gun. Your call now. Bullet or badge?
Badge.
The lawyer in me screamed protocol, arrest, trial, justice. But the reborn fury? It whispered finality. Controversial decision. Pull the trigger. End the cycle. Or handcuff him. Drag the filth into light and taint my name forever? Jake's trial loomed next week, Sarah subpoenaed. Fleeing extradition from Miami. My promotion hung by ethics threads if Elias's dirt surfaced. Bye-bye partnership. I lowered the gun. Thumb flicking the safety. Badge. But you're spilling to IA, full retroactive. He chuckled.
Dark.
Knew you would. Hero's blood. Hero. Bullshit. I cuffed him myself. Ruiz's zip ties called it an anonymous. NYPD swarmed at dawn, hauling Elias in stunned silence. Leaks hit the post by noon. Retired cop confesses decades-old cover-up. Links to prominent family? My name stayed buried. Thanks to Ruiz's scrub. But ripples spread. Jake's arraignment was a circus. Federal court downtown. Reporters like vultures. I sat in the gallery, anonymous in shades and scarf, watching him shuffle in orange. Diminished. His lawyer, a slick ambulance chaser, pled not guilty to fraud. Conspiracy, manslaughter dropped. No proof of push intent. But the affair? Tabloid gold. Sarah, extradited, took a plea, accessory. 6 months house arrest. She glared at me across the room, lips mouthing whore. I mouthed back, free. Testimony gutted me. Jake, on stand, spun victimhood. Melanie was distant, obsessed with work.
Sarah.
It just happened. His eyes found mine, pleading absolution. I looked away.
Bilelisin.
Then the bombshell, prosecutor dropping Elias's taped confession, linking Jake's juvie assault to a mentorship under Crow. Dirty cop networks funding his app. Jake crumpled. Deal crumbling. 20 years. Minimum.
Outside.
Post-verdict. I lit a cigarette, first in years, inhaling the acrid truth. Free, but fractured. The firm celebrated my peripheral involvement with a quiet bonus, partners averted eyes. Scandals sticky. Ellis pulled me aside. Clean break. Harper? Or you want lead on the civil suit against the startup? Civil suit. Controversial. Sue the remnants. Claim damages for emotional distress. Or walk away. Let karma's slow grind suffice?
Lead, I said.
Vengeance as vocation. But the high faded fast. Nights alone in the brownstone sold it. Profits to charity for assault survivors, echoed with ghosts. Mom's laugh. Dad's gruff advice. Jake's whispers. Elias wrote from Rikers. Did right by him.
Kid.
Now do right by you.
Live. Live.
What did that mean in a city that devoured the living? Sarah's appeal hearing tipped the scale. She lawyered up, countersuing me for defamation, claiming I fabricated the affair to cover my instability. Bullshit. But seated doubt. Depots under oath. My old psych record subpoenaed. The overdose attempt they'd staged. Media twisted it. Wife's revenge or breakdown. Protests outside court. Believe women clashing with innocent until proven. Pickets screaming betrayal. I testified. Voice steady. They plan my death. Not emotionally, physically. Tracks.
Meds.
The works. Exhibits. Emails.
Accounts.
Elias's tape. Judge sustained most. But the jury?
Hung.
Mistrial declared. Sarah walked. Plea vacated pending retrial. Rage boiled over. Controversial impulse. Confront her. Off books. I tailed her to a dive in the village. Gin joint thick with smoke and sorrow. She nursed a martini at the bar. Alone.
Gaunt.
Melanie, she rasped as I slid beside her. Come to gloat. Came to end it. I ordered whiskey.
Neat.
Drop the suit. Or I drop the rest, your Yale expulsion. The stalking charge buried. She laughed. Hollow. Expulsion? For what? Loving too hard. Her eyes. Bloodshot. Jake was mine first. You stole him. Stole. The bar spun. Patrons blurring. He chose me. Daily. Liar. She lunged. Nails raking my arm. Shallow. But drawing blood. Bouncer hauled her off. But the damage?
Deeper.
Assault charge against her. Self-defense for me. But headlines flipped. Jilted friend attacks scorned wife. Toxic femmes trended. My DMs a cesspool of hate. Ruiz pulled me from the spiral. Walk away. Harper. She's poison. Poison. But the twist gnawed. Elias's files hid one last folder. Contingency B. Mom's diary scans. Detailing not just Crow's skim, but Dad's complicity. He'd skimmed too small. For her treatments, and Elias covered both. The favor? Not protection, but absolution. Dad's cancer bed confession. If she digs, tell her we were flawed. But save her from becoming us.
Flawed.
The mirror showed it. Circles under eyes. Gun calloused palm. Reborn. But repeating sins? The retrial loomed. Merger glow faded. Clients wary. Partners distant. I quit the firm. Shocking Ellis. Burnout. Or bigger fish. Bigger fish. My own PI agency. Pro bono for the betrayed. Controversial pivot. From corporate shark to street avenger. Trading billables for justice. But Sarah struck first. Midnight call. My new loft in Williamsburg. Meet me. Pier 17. Or I release everything, your suicide note draft. The one Jake wrote.
Trap.
But I went. .38 tucked. Elias's ghost whispering caution. Pier 17. Hudson wind whipping. She waited under sodium lights. Silhouette sharp. Melanie. No slur now.
Poised.
Truce. Truce. I approached. Hand in pocket. You sued me. Desperation. She stepped closer. Too close. Jake's rotting because of you. But I get it, hurt people hurt. Empathy? The ploy reeked. Then movement behind. Shadows shifting.
Jake? No, Jair Masol.
Ruiz is tipped too late. They grabbed me. Rough hands. Zip tie burning wrists. Sarah's smile returned. Victorious.
Plan C. Bitch.
With you gone.
Appeals fly.
And that trust fund? Community property.
Gone.
The shove came. Toward the black water, echo of tracks. But wetter. Colder. I twisted. Knee to groin. Elbow to throat, self-defense frenzy. Guns skittered free. Shots cracking wild, warning. Not kill. One thug down. Clutching thigh, Sarah scrambling back. Eyes wide. You shot. Cops. Sirens wailed. Ruiz is back up. Chaos. Arrests. Statements. My arm bandaged at Bellevue. Sarah cuffed. Spitting venom. Monster. Just like your dad.
Dad.
The word pierced. Dawn broke as I signed discharge. Phone dead. Missed calls from Ellis. Offering reinstatement. Tempting. Safe. But the water's chill lingered. Rebirth's echo. Elias's last letter arrived. Contraband smuggled. Cycle breaks with choice.
Kid.
Yours.
Choice.
Retrial in days. Sarah's goons flipping on her. Full confession. Jake's appeal denied. Justice. Served cold.
But me?
The controversial heart. Forgive the dead. Or exhume them all. The retrial was vengeance distilled. Sterile courtroom air thick with unspoken histories. Jury box, a jury of my peers. Or executioners. I didn't testify, my statement sufficed. Corroborated by ballistics and thug pleas. Sarah took the stand. Transformed, no yoga cheek. Just jailhouse pallor and a public defender sweating bullets. I never meant harm, she lied. Voice quavering. Melanie. She's unstable. The push? A joke gone wrong.
Joke.
The gallery murmured. I sat stone-faced. Elias's letter folded in my pocket like absolution. Prosecutors shredded her. MS. Klein. Your emails detail neutralizing the obstacle. Care to explain? Objection sustained. But damage done. Texts.
Audios.
The offshore trail. Irrefutable. Jake's video deposition. Piped in from Attica. Cracked last. Sarah pushed me.
You loved Mel. Coward to the end.
Verdict. Guilty. 15 years. Sarah's scream echoed as bailiffs dragged her. Raw. Animal.
Outside.
Press swarmed. MS. Harper. Thoughts on closure? Closure? I pushed through. No comment. Into a waiting town car, Ruiz at the wheel.
Clean, he said.
Your slate's white.
White.
If only. Back at the loft. I uncorked Merlot, real this time, and sifted Dad's lockbox. Shipped post Elias's suicide. Hung himself in Gen Pop. Note blank. Inside, Mom's real diary. Unredacted. James' dad and Elias fight over the skim. For me. For us. If I go, tell Mel, love isn't clean. It's the dirt we share. No murder. No mercy kill, just choice. Mom chose the pills. End her pain. Spare Dad the fall. He covered. Elias helped for brotherhood, not malice. Flawed.
Human.
Tears came then. Hot and unbidden. Reborn not to avenge ghosts, but embrace them. I burned the pages. Ashes swirling in the sink, ritual release. Months blurred. Agency launch. Harper Justice small. Scrappy. Taking cases the big firm shunned. Domestic traps. Corporate nooses. Ellis called. Miss you in the trenches.
Mel. Doors open.
Appreciate it, I said. But I'm where the real fights are. Real. The stranger, Elias, had been right. Turn back. Or tighten your own noose. I chose turn. One loose end. Jake's appeal hearing.
Procenal.
Desperate. I attended. Not gallery witness stand. Character ref. Controversial. Mercy for the monster? Judge raised brow as I swore in. Mr. Harper was my husband. I began. Voice even. He betrayed me financially, emotionally. But prison. It's broken him. Recommend parole eligibility after 10. Jake's eyes. Across the room. Flooded gratitude.
Grief.
Jury deliberated hours. Granted. Conditional. He nodded thanks as they let him out. Chains lighter. Post-hearing. Coffee with Ruiz black.
No sugar.
Soft on him, he probed. Not soft. Human. The word anchored me. Rebirth's gift. Not just memory. But multiplicity victim. Avenger. Survivor. Summer hit. Humid and healing. I dated, casual. A barista with tattoos and no secrets. Walked the High Line at dusk. Skyline forgiving. The train platform? Avoided Grand Central. But one evening, impulse pulled me back. 6 train rumbled in. Doors hissing.
No stranger.
No whispered, just me.
Whole.
A voice cut through. Melanie? Young woman. Early 20s. Hesitant. Dark curls. Eyes like Mom's, haunted.
I'm Lena.
Elias's daughter.
He.
Left this. Envelope. Sealed. Inside. Key to a safety deposit box, Dad's. Untouched. Contents. Letters.
Photos.
A deed to a cabin upstate. For when you're ready to build. Not burn. Elias's scrawl. Postscript Dad's.
Build.
I drove north that weekend. Gravel crunching under tires. Woods thick with second growth. Cabin creaked welcome, dusty, but sturdy. Lake view shimmered. Fish jumping lazy. I swept.
Aired.
Slept deep. No dreams of tracks or nooses. Fall brought harvest. Agency cases closing strong. A pro bono win freeing a wrongfully accused mom. Lena visited, tentative alliance. Sharing Elias stories. He wasn't all bad, she said over Esmores. Loved fierce. Hated fiercer. Fierce. My toast. We laughed. Fire crackling. Family. Forged not blood. Winter's first snow blanketed the city. But I was upstate. Cabin aglow. Phone rang. Jake. Monitored line.
Mel.
Thanks. For the ref.
I'm.
Getting help. Good.
Pause.
Don't call again.
Click. End.
New Year's. Alone but not lonely. I stood on the porch. Stars sharp. Reborn. Missed the train by seconds. Stranger's words a lifeline. Changed everything not to destroy, but to distill. Betrayal's blade honed me. Secrets unearthed roots. Controversial choices, gun unpooled. Mercy granted, wove the happy twist. Not vengeance's end, but life's beginning. The noose?
Cut.
I breathed free.